hard.
I literally tied a rope around the Jeep and put the car in reverse.
Like, we did stuff to this. They definitely showed their Karen side.
Because honestly, I've been so stressed out, which we'll get into in a minute.
Welcome to the Alyssa and Julian Podcast.
I'm Alyssa.
And I'm Julian, and this is the Alyssa and Julian Podcast. We switched things up a little bit.
I was going to say, is this backwards? I feel backwards.
It's a little backwards. I kind of like it though.
Usually I'm on that side.
I am of the darker tone, so it doesn't make sense for me to sit in front of a completely black curtain.
Wearing all black.
It just...
Not as smart as
it doesn't look as good on film, and I've been learning a lot about lighting and things like that, so it actually helps out when you keep these things in mind while filming. But anyway, with that being said, they read the title. I'm sure you're sad. So let's get into this episode and explain what's happening. Alyssa, start us off. What's your intentions for the week?
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't think about it. I don't even know if I have intentions for this week because we'll get into it in a minute, but it's been a crazy week. And it's gonna be a crazy week. My intention actually is probably just gonna pack because we're going on a Florida trip soon.
It's gonna be at the end of this week.
Literally, when you're hearing this, we're going to Florida in like 4 or 5 days.
Shout out to Playlist Live.
So I have to pack for that.
Yes.
For me and the baby.
Yes.
And Julian's got himself.
I'll help out. Stop it.
I said you got yourself.
No, I'm saying I'll help out with the baby stuff.
Oh, yeah. I got to go through his stuff and get all that. Yeah,
so that's happening. And it's happening very soon. So my intention of the week is, honestly, I've been so stressed out, which we'll get into in a minute. I've been stressed out behind the scenes. Yeah, I've been stressed out behind the scenes, and I haven't been able to really explain why, articulate why, tell you guys why.
But today's the day.
Now I finally can, and I'm going to vent for a minute. So you guys are going to be here for it.
This is going to be the Julian Podcast today.
So with that being said, though, we are going to finally, hopefully, I'm praying, dude, that by the time you hear this, we have a final say on what's actually happening with us. So my goal is to relax this week. That's my intention.
We love that. You never hear that from Julian.
I want to get to Florida, and I just want to, especially on Friday, I want to relax.
That's going to be a long day.
That's going to be a huge long day, but you know what? We're going to hit the hay early. And I'm going to relax.
No, we're not.
Why?
Friday night, maybe.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
But Friday's going to be a long day. We have to be at the airport at like 3, 4 a.m. and then have a flight and then probably spend the whole day like out and about and then...
No. Because Playlist allows you to check in at like 10 a.m.
Yeah, but you're not going to be in the room at 10 a.m. Like, you're going to go in, but you're going to want to go out and do stuff. We probably won't be back in the room till like 6, 7 o'clock.
No, they shut down. Like, the first day isn't packed with stuff like that. So the first day is really like get kind of settled, get it all figured out, and then you can go around and do your meetups and all that on Saturday and Sunday, and you see your panels and stuff. But the first day is honestly only open to people with specific passes.
Really?
Yeah, so that's why it's good to get in on Friday with the industry pass, because we had the industry pass. I think we had the industry pass. One of those passes.
He's like, I hope we do.
No, we have one of those passes that allows us really access to things on Friday and that early access signups, which is why it's good we're getting there early.
Okay.
Or not signups,
I still think Friday's going to be a long day.
It probably will be, but
only because we'll also be up really early. So like by 2 o'clock, we're going to be like,
Yeah. So I think it's going to be, and there's a concert that night, but we don't have to go to the concert. That's completely optional, obviously. So I'm assuming that Friday is really just going to be a chill evening, probably order some food and call it an evening. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm expecting, at least.
That's what I'm expecting, but I feel like I don't want to expect it too much because I feel like if we end up doing something, I'm going to be like,
yeah,
I'm tired.
Yeah, so we'll figure it out.
Early.
Well, that too, and we also traveling with a baby for the first time, so it's going to be new to him, but it's going to be more new to us.
I'm like scared but excited.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
I'm nervous but like super excited. Yeah. I feel like if I show him like out the window on planes or whatever, he'll be like, ah! And he'll get super excited.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping.
I'm hoping he's just quiet. That's my thing. Like, we're going to bring a nice big bottle for him. Oh, do they let that go through TSA?
I don't know.
Oh, crap, guys. We might have a problem. I just thought about it. And we literally bought like a ton of big bottles for him. You could probably put it in your suitcase.
I figured they'd go in the suitcase.
So what is he going to eat at the airport? I think you could get the 2-ounce ones and give him the 2-ounce ones. Because there's no way I have to go the whole 2.5 hours without him eating. Or, we could time it where we give it to him because it's only 2.5 hour flight. We could time it the way we go through TSA. We give him a bottle before we go through TSA. Get on the plane. No, that's still going to be too much. I don't know, guys. I don't know.
That's going to be a long time if we have to go there like 2 hours before, then 2.5. Because by the time we land, he's already like almost 6 hours in.
He's going to be like freaking out. And he doesn't really sleep in our lap. Like he has to be like laying down to fall asleep.
I'm hoping it'll be early, so he will. And my plan is to like either put something on the little TVs. Hopefully the TVs work on the plane.
Oh my goodness.
We'll put something on the TV so he'll just get distracted and watch. Either that or I'm literally going to put Mickey on my phone and put it in front of him. He'll be like,
see. We'll see. But he might also be really happy because he's a very like cuddly baby. So like the fact that he's held for 2.5 hours might make him very excited. So we'll see. We'll see. This is going to be interesting. But you guys, we're not going to hold it up from you guys any longer. Before we do, though, Alyssa, you want to tell them where to find the podcasts because they got to go back and binge watch what we have.
Well, YouTube, Alyssa Julian Podcast. If you listen, check out the YouTube channel. Anyways, if you watch, go take a listen. Vice versa. We can be found on Spotify, Apple Podcast, Amazon Music. Everywhere you find your podcast, pretty much, just search Alyssa Julian Podcast. Hopefully we pop up.
And make sure you leave a nice little 5-star review, a comment. Let us know you enjoy it.
Like, subscribe.
I definitely look forward to reading those. So make sure you send those over. And let us know you want us to come back, man. Season 2 is on the horizon, which is why we have to end for season 1. So let's get into it. Obviously, if you're watching the podcast, you can tell our surroundings are different than what they normally look like.
There's no piano.
There's no piano.
There's no poster on this wall.
What else is different? There's no like thing behind me, like Xbox sign and dresser thing. Like it's all gone because we are moving. So we have officially like sold our house. Well, not yet. We're in the final stages of that.
Hopefully when you're hearing, watching, listening, viewing this,
it's done.
Hopefully it's a done deal by now. If not, it should be a done deal in like 2 days.
Yeah. So
that's the time span.
We're in the process of doing that. And I don't know how old or young you guys are who are watching this, but if you know anything about that, it is a very stressful process and very tedious process, as well as a not very clear process. So,
Julian, at this point, probably wishes he had hair to like rip out.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at this point. And just for so many reasons, like I don't even know. Like if I break it down for you for the timeline, we started this process before I went on the cruise. That's insane.
Before
the week
no,
not even. It was like
really?
the week or 2, maybe 2 weeks. It was like 2 weeks before.
Close enough.
It was like 2 weeks before we went on the cruise. We started this process and I started this process and
well, I didn't even mean that. I meant the cruise. You said before we went on the cruise.
Oh, sorry. Before I went on the cruise, we started this process and
trying to be funny and you ruined it.
Oh, sorry. And it just has been very like tedious and I don't want to get into too many details on it because it could get very boring. But basically, I'll put it to you like this. Like, we are just playing the waiting game every way you turn around. And I'm not good at playing the waiting game.
Julian's a very impatient person.
I'm impatient, but I also like...
He likes answers.
And I like to be in control of situations.
That too.
I don't like to be in situations I'm not in control of. And this is a very out of my control situation. So it's very much out of my comfort zone. And I don't know how to handle it. I don't know how to handle it because literally, guys, it was to the point where like we didn't know if we should be looking to find a new place or just, kind of ride it out and wait and see what happens and stay in our place. On top of the fact that we are living in the craziest real estate market of our lifetime. Mm-hmm. This is the craziest real estate market of our lifetime. And when I tell you, like, we would go see a place and it'd be snatched up off the market the next day.
Oh my God. We went to our first place that we were looking at. It was a cute little townhouse. Literally, we walked in and like I was obsessed. Like I had really high standards after that. So every place after that, I was like, no. That like literally we went and the next day it was like off the market. We didn't even have time to get an application
Exactly. And
I was so upset. It was literally the most perfect, cutest space ever.
And it's hard because it was a little bit out of our price range, but like enough where we would have made it work.
Like we would have been fine, but oh my God, like I wish we like recorded this process so I could just like show you and you guys would be like, oh,
part of me wishes we did too, but man, like if I went through and recorded it, editing it might make me cry, like with all the mess I went through.
I feel like that's such a process. Like seeing like Aaron and Ronnie do it, like just seeing houses,
dude, that crazy
people
part.
Are interested in is so because everyone has a different taste in like what they're looking for.
Not even just that. So like we're watching them go through their houses as they're looking, and we're like, wow, that's nice. Like we were doing the same thing, but we just weren't filming it, and we didn't want to document it. And I think it's different for everyone. Like they were in the opposite. Like we were selling our house, moving to rent, and they were renting. Looking to buy. Yeah. So I feel like it's a different process. It's a little less glamorous.
Yeah. You know? So we would have had like a different story almost.
Yeah. But I think it's less glamorous on our end because on the other end, it's like, oh, this is so exciting. We're buying our house. And we're on
like
the other
we already bought our first house.
Dude, this sucks. We're ready. We're over it. Like, let's move.
Owning a house is hard.
Owning a house isn't, and it's not even just hard. It's very time consuming. It's time consuming. And it's so weird because people say, oh, renting or owning is cheaper than renting. And I really almost.
It depends because I feel like.
I say no. Like.
Yeah, like what we're going towards, like we're not actually paying as many bills as we would owning.
Owning has a lot of hidden charges that you end up incurring. Like, for example, I pay a sewer bill. Like, I didn't know when I moved in here that I would be expecting a sewer bill in the mail. I didn't even know I had to pay it. Like, I was like, wait, is this coming out in the mortgage? Like, is this paid? Like, no, this is something you have to pay. I mean, granted, it's every couple months, but it's not cheap. And if you break it down, like, what is it? About $400 for the year. So it's close to $400 for the year, right? So if you break it out down to like 12 months, what is that? Like, let's just throw a number out there. Let's say it's $80 a month. That's $80 on top of your mortgage, on top of everything else that you already have to pay for in the house.
All your other bills,
all your other utilities bills,
but not even that, like personal bills.
Personal bill, exactly.
Like we're paying like car payment, like credit card bills, like stuff like that. Yeah. That definitely goes into consideration. We're low key, like I'm not getting too into our finances, but we're also paying a flood insurance bill for a little creek that would probably never, ever, 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 ever flood our house.
Because we have like a river that
like
runs
it wouldn't even
backyard.
flood our backyard. Never mind our house.
Yeah, we have a river that flows through our backyard, and you would need so like deep.
A tidal wave to flood. Like it's so bad.
Not even that. Like we're in a drought right now. Like we're literally in the middle of a drought. I'm paying for flood insurance while we're in the middle of a drought. Tell me what? Like
it's crazy. It's so crazy. Like that's I don't know. There's little things that just like add where like we're actually paying almost like cheaper to rent.
Yeah.
In the spot we found. Granted, that's probably not always the case. But for us, it's so much better. But
the thing is, like, when we go through, like, I'm sure we'll make an apartment tour video, but like, if you look at the apartment we found, like, it's so much nicer than our house. And it's more...
it's newer utilities.
It's more expensive, but cheaper. Like, but again, it's condensed. Like, you know, these are going to be your monthly bill. And that's the other thing. Like, also the unexpected expenses of owning a house are real. So, like... with this, if something goes wrong, I just call the landlord and I'm like, hey, yo, or not even at that point, it'd be the property manager because it's an apartment. Yeah, we don't have
a landlord.
And you just call the property manager, be like, hey, man, this is what's going on.
And they have to send someone. That's also super nice is to not having to figure out how to do it yourself almost. Like you just call someone and they have people to come and fix it.
I had to take a sink apart and clean out the drain myself. Like, not saying that that's extremely hard to do because it wasn't, but I'm not that kind of like I'll do it if I have to, but that's not like my first thing that I want to do when I wake up in the morning. It's like, hey, let me go work on the house today. Like I've done house projects because there's stuff I wanted done to the house that like would make quality of life better.
We did stuff throughout the house and the garage.
But like, there's so many factors with and I don't want to discourage people from owning a home either. That's not the purpose of this. I just want to make sure you guys are prepared when you go to own a home, because there's so many things to it. And keep in mind, one of the biggest factors with owning a home is neighbors.
Oh my God. Yeah. If I knew that, we would not be here. We would have never, ever come here.
And neighbors are a big factor. Big factor.
I feel like you also can't necessarily, like, some people do. And if you do, like, great for you. Like, I wish this was possible for us. But you can never find, like, the most perfect house. Like, sometimes you settle, like we did stuff for the house that we probably would have wanted completed when we bought it. Mm-hmm. Ronnie and Aaron are doing some demolition to this house. They settled. They were like, yes, and we could just do this, and this ourselves. So you can never find, like, and that's the most perfect house. Like, we were literally looking and was like, oh, if this and this were in this house, like, maybe some of this from this house, like, it'd be perfect. But, like, you sadly can't combine houses.
So that's the other thing.
Unless you really build your own.
That's the other thing you brought up just now too, owning a house, is it takes time, because you, like, I try to run a business. Like, I'm trying to run this YouTube channel. I'm trying to still make money. I'm trying to still be a father. So, like, I have a lot of hats I already wear. So taking away the homeowner hat really saves me a lot of time, because when it snows outside, I got to go out there and shovel. Something goes wrong. Like I just said, I had to take apart the sink. Whatever it is that goes wrong in this house, I have to do it. And a lot of people don't realize, like, how much that actually is. And you can handle it one of two ways. There's only two things you could do. You can hire somebody to fix it, or you can fix it yourself. And if you're not in a financial situation to be able to hire somebody to fix it, it's hard, because then you got to YouTube, DIY, figure it out. And again, you feel accomplished in the process of doing it, because I felt accomplished every time I figured something out and did it. But let's be honest, that takes away time I could be editing or filming or responding to comments or working. Like, that stuff takes away that time I have. And it's almost like, it's a social status thing of owning a house at this point in our like day and age. It's a social status thing, but like, I'm at the point where it doesn't even matter. Like, my uncle was bragging about me on the boat. I don't even know if I told you this, but he was like, yeah, this is my nephew. He's a homeowner. He's got a business he's running. Like, he's doing this stuff. And it felt good. But at the same time, it's like, it's not necessary. Like, I don't need that. You know what I mean? Like, it's nice, but I don't want to hang my hat on this house. You know what I mean? Like, and not that our house isn't nice, but I don't want that to be like my greatest achievement. There's definitely
some stuff we would have added or completed or started, but at that point, like, I don't know, it's not worth it after a while. Like, putting too much into the house is just not worth it after a while.
Yeah. And don't get me wrong, it served its purpose. It got me out of where I was, because I couldn't really film well where I was. And I had a lot of issues with my neighbor there where I was before. But now this got me out of there, got me in a new mindset. It allowed me to figure out things and learn things about myself, about living with a partner. And it's just, there's a lot of good things that did happen here. But at the same time, it comes to a point where it is time to move on. And I feel like now is time to move on, and like we said before, neighbors is always a factor. And I'll be honest with you, the only time I found that it wasn't was when I lived in an apartment building before, because they're made now so well that they know neighbors is always a problem. They build them so that
it's almost soundproof without being like completely soundproof. Exactly. Like, you're going to hear stuff, but it's not going to be as bad.
Exactly. So.
And I feel like in like that type of situation, like, so before we moved here, Julian Julian lived in like a 2-family. So he had upper floor. So you're dealing with like a neighbor underneath you. And at that point, like, if they complain, like, they have to go through a landlord who has to probably come and talk and all this stuff if something happened. Like, in an apartment, like, even if there is complaints, like, the person's basically always there. Like, you don't have to wait for them to show up. Like, obviously they go probably home to sleep. Like, it's not, I don't think they would sleep in the apartment half the time. But like, they're there. Like, anytime you need them, you can literally go right downstairs and they're there. And most apartment places, especially if you're like talk to management, like they make it happen so fast.
Yeah, I agree. And that goes back to my point too about like issues that go wrong in the house. Like you can go, like you said, right to management and they'll make it happen for you. It happens. Fast.
Like you don't have to wait.
And not to mention that, like, we're living in a new day and age. I'd never seen anything like this. We have an app. Like, we legit have an app to pay our rent on. And on that same app, you go through and you can file, like, if you have complaints or...
Yeah, I saw that going through it. I was like,
if you need help with something from the property manager, you literally just type it in right there on the app and they'll respond to you.
That's crazy.
It's crazy.
That's definitely, like, new and improved type situation, because I've never seen that before. Granted, I never had to use an app to pay for that stuff.
I used to Venmo my last landlord. Like every month I would Venmo.
I love that too.
I would just Venmo.
I love that they're not waiting for like cash or for you to send them a check. Like, oh, come drop this off to me, or oh, at this point, like I'll come pick it up. The fact that you can literally just like Cash App or Venmo your rent to people, I feel like is so amazing. He
said, just communicate with me and we're good. But literally, I never really had to. I just, first of the month, I always just Venmoed him and be like, here you go, man. He was cool. Awesome. I loved my landlord, but he was also that landlord that, like, if something goes wrong, he was there to fix it right away. Your
landlord was really cool because there was a time I literally locked myself. Like, I locked my keys into Julian's apartment. Or no, it was in my car. Mm-hmm. I locked my keys in my car. And so I couldn't get in my car. Obviously, Julian had left, so I can't get into his place. Like, it wasn't like...
And it was ice outside.
It was snowing. Or not snowing, but it had snowed. Like, it was the middle of the winter. Like, I was freezing. So he came and unlocked it so I can go wait inside. And I was like...
Because I texted him. I was like, hey, man. Like
he went to work.
I was like, can you please do me a big favor? And I literally was like,
dude, what do I do?
I was like, let me call my landlord, see if he can help you out.
He came pretty quick, too.
Yeah. I was like, hey, man, like, I'm sorry to bother you. And every time I had an issue, he came and fixed it. Every time. Like,
because he had one door to get, like, it's not really exposing the place, but in the back, he had one door to get into the place before he had to go upstairs. But you needed a key to get into that door, not just a key to get in, like, upstairs.
And, well, that bottom door was always locked, too, though.
Yeah, in the front.
He kept that bottom door locked. No, both sides.
Really?
Yeah, he kept the back door locked, too. Because I used to go in the back door.
That's what I'm saying. So to go back there, you need a key to be like in the, because I could have just stood in there, like honestly, like went into the basement, like so I wasn't outside the other dude's door.
Yeah.
But like I couldn't even get in there to just get into the place, like not even in his apartment, but just not outside pretty much is what I'm saying. Like he kept that locked and the front door was locked. And obviously even if I got like inside, his upstairs door was locked. Like, so basically I was just like, what do I do? I can't get inside this house at all. I can't get in my car at all. Like, I'm standing in snow. Like,
yeah,
I got a little bit of a problem here, but he came so fast and was like, here you go. And I was like, oh my God, thank you so much.
No, that's cool. I mean, I think that's like one of the biggest things I miss about renting. And part of me calls homeowning a little overrated for that reason. Because people will suggest you spend, you know, like small amounts of money just to become a homeowner without telling you like what's I don't want to say implied, but what's expected of a homeowner at that point. Because a lot of times, even if you don't get this work done or you do stuff, like you're going to have to like pay fines to the city for your property not looking up to par.
Oh yeah, because they try to get us for stuff like that. They tried to get us for a tree that had fallen over the creek we had just talked about. That's nowhere near anyone's like property. Like it fell, it didn't cause any type of damage to no one, nothing.
It was basically just like a hanging tree.
It was hanging, over, and they wanted us to get rid of it.
If you go on my Instagram, we literally took a picture on the tree because it wasn't going anywhere, by the way. Like we were leaning on it and we took a picture on it.
Yeah, when we did a photo shoot in the backyard, and that was literally the tree they wanted us to remove. Like clearly it wasn't harming anyone. It wasn't bothering anyone. No one plays in that creek anyways. Like it's literally just water there. Like,
I feel like I expected though, like being a homeowner, I feel like I expected to be able to do more content here. And I mean, long story short, it just wasn't really possible for many reasons. So I think that was a little bit of a disappointment for me with this process. So maybe I'm a little like biased to that because I always lead with a business and content mindset first. And I just from the beginning never really was able to fulfill that dream of mine.
That's actually really funny that you say that, because now that I think about it, between the last 3 places, like this place, the place before, and the first apartment you were just talking about, where you did the most content and the most anything was in the apartment. In the apartment, exactly. Because you didn't do anything in the last place because of the guy underneath you. Then here it didn't work. Yeah, see? Why do you think I'm so excited? That's crazy. That's so funny. So, and I was most creative. And he was definitely like the loudest there too. Exactly. So, oh my God. It's definitely a shock that people didn't complain, but at the same time, that's when you know they make it soundproof without making it soundproof. My room was also next to the elevator, which helped, which is why I wanted our bedroom to be by the corner. Your apartment was. No, but my bedroom specifically, like if I had turned everything off, I could hear the elevator going up and down. Like if nothing was on, I feel like your grandmother was closer to the elevator. No, because my side, the way. Oh no! Yep, you're right. You're right. My room was literally next to the elevator shaft. I was thinking it was this way. My grandmother was next to the next apartment, which was I don't want to say it was by design, but that was the bigger room, so she took it, but it worked out very well. That was the bigger room. You're right. I was thinking like the other way for some reason. Can we just talk about this too, though, for a second? Like. We're losing. So I want to explain to you guys something too. The part of the reason why we do have to take a break from the podcast, though, is because we are losing a room. Yes. We don't know where the setup's going to be yet. Yeah. It's only a 2-bedroom apartment. So we don't know. That goes for podcast and like regular videos, like reactions. Like I don't know how anything's going to go. Well, and that's part of the whole selling process that's so frustrating with me right now is like, if the selling process was more clear, I would be able to have more answers as to what's happening with our channel and what's happening with our videos. But like, I don't know, because literally like it's at the point now where they're pushing this back so much that like I might be in Florida while they're handing these people the keys. Yeah. They were like, we want to close this way. And we're like, we're not even going to be in state. Like, is that okay? Yeah. They're like, oh, whatever. So thank God. Yeah. I mean, it's cool, but at the same time, it's like, dang, like that kind of sucks. So it worked out. It's good, but bad because like, I mean, it's good that we don't have to be here because I definitely would have not have wanted to ruin these plans if we so-called had to. I mean, it's kind of like weird being like, hey, like our house is being sold right now and like we're not even in state. But then we're on a plane. Well, literally either that or like landing. Like, yeah. And then by the time we come home, it's going to be so almost bittersweet because like we're just coming home and going right to our new place. Walking right into a new apartment, like literally. That's like, so crazy to think about. Yeah. We're going to come home and I'm going to be like, where are we? Well, so it's actually working out because like the original day we were supposed to like, close and be done. After. Well, no, not even that. It was like, it was a week and a half. No, I'm saying, hold on. Let me finish because you're mixing things up. You're mixing the move-in date and the closing date. Oh, I thought you were talking about moving date. No. Closing is when we sell this house. So the closing date was originally supposed to be actually Monday when this podcast released. So because that got pushed back, we were able to kind of have A, more time to pack, and B, have more time to make more content, and C, we don't have to get a hotel because the way we're going right now, if things fall before we leave, we have to get a hotel room for a certain amount of nights. So I'm kind of just like riding it out. I'm like, yeah, this is fine because I'm saving money. Right. Like I don't have to pay for a hotel room if we could stay here until we leave. But at the same time, we do have to get out like a day before closing. So like, it's so weird. That's why I'm like, guys, I have no idea what's going on because this day keeps fluctuating. But with that being said, the apartment complex has been so great to us because it was originally saying that like the apartment wouldn't be ready till the 15th. So we would have to come September back 15th. From Florida and figure out where we were staying. We had to get a hotel for the like 10 days that we would be without an apartment. Like my apartment,
like they have been so great to me. Like I'm so grateful to them, but it works out, and like you just have faith and, you know, just pray and it'll all work out. But it's just so stressful in the moment because I have a child and I can't have my child on the street.
Right.
And I also don't want to just kind of put them anywhere just to like have a place to stay until we go. So like the fact that they worked it out for me helped out. But man, in the moment, I was kind of pulling my hair out because then on top of that,
like I said, he wishes he had hair.
They were also saying like, okay, we're waiting on this, and that before we can move forward with the sale. So now I'm like, wait, are we selling this house or not? Mm-hmm. And that's where it gets like weird because you don't know if you're actually selling the house to that buyer until like literally a week before.
Not even like at this point, we're literally just like, we're ready. We're basically ready. We'd be okay. But it's basically you're just sitting here waiting for them to be like, okay, you have to get out. And you're like, wait, what?
Right. You have 2 days to get out.
Yeah. Like luckily we're kind of ahead, like on pace for ourselves, so to speak. And if they were like, hey, you have 2 days, we'd be like, okay, cool. No problem.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's just like, it's so stressful on that end because you're just like, what's going on? And like, it's like they know, but like won't tell you, so to speak. Like
the problem is
I feel like they would know more than us. And then all of a sudden they're like, okay, so here's what's going on. And you're like, wait, hold on.
The problem, and that's the thing. That's the problem with it though. They know, but they don't know. Like they know what it should look like as far as a timetable.
But it's not working out for anyone.
It's not concrete for anyone, you know? And that's the problem. Like nothing in this process is concrete. And that's the other thing that I feel is overrated about owning a home. I hate selling. Like when I'm ready to move, I just want to move. I don't want to be able to, you know, or I don't want to have to stay here until I sell to be able to move.
Yeah.
Personally, like that's just, you know, personal preference. I'm weird like that. Like if I'm ready to go, I'm ready to go.
It makes sense though.
And it's so bad because after this experience, I don't know if I'm going to look to buy anything anytime soon. And mainly because I don't know where I want to end up. We're content creators. Our lives are constantly changing. Our future,
for good areas.
Our future can change literally at the snap of a finger. Like, you know, all it takes is the right person to see us, and next you know, a bunch of other people are like, "Oh, hey, yeah," you know what I mean. But like, and that's not like, you know, me saying like, oh, this is happening tomorrow, but it's a reality that we live in. Like you never know when a piece of content is going to do well.
Life is very like spur of the moment in every aspect. But yeah, no, we definitely had some issues because we probably would have sold probably not much sooner than where we're at now, but we did have a whole situation before and then it fell through. So yeah, that's when we were back to maybe we won't sell. The market's really bad. Maybe we'll just hold on, wait a little bit, go through it again.
Explain that though, because you can't say the market's really bad. The market's bad for finding a place. The market's great for selling.
Selling, it was no problem because we had a hit on this like so fast. But finding a place, like we've explained, we've gone through X amount of houses. We looked at like a couple townhouses. This was the first apartment we looked for, but it's actually working out better in this sense for us. So kind of makes me wish like we looked at apartments sooner, but I feel like we were trying to look for more of like a housey, cozy family vibe.
And now that I think about it, not that that's not us, but that's not us. Because and no matter what houses I looked at, like it was always tenants responsible for oil, tenants responsible for this.
That's another crazy thing.
And then I'm like, well, tenant might as well buy the house. Yeah. You know what I mean? At that point, like the only thing I'm not paying is the mortgage at that point.
We literally went to one house where they were like, yeah, tenants responsible for oil and like top grade premium. Basically, they were saying the most expensive oil you could buy without saying the most expensive oil you have to buy.
For a 275 gallon tank. Like, I said, no, huge. Thank you. No, thank you.
So that on top of all the other
$1,500 per
just
fill.
For that.
Yeah. $1,500 per fill.
So on top of all those utilities, like renting in this apartment is actually saving us.
Saving us a lot because
time and money.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing too. Like, cause I don't have to think about snow removal. I don't have to think about going out and mowing the lawn. Like those things kind of became a chore.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not a chore when you like where you live, but like I was starting to really not like where I lived. And that is a problem because you have to do those things to keep your property up. But upkeep can get annoying when you don't really care about it anymore.
We really did try to keep the property up. Like you were on top of grass. Obviously, we had a plow or shovel. Like that was just, it had to be done. Mm-hmm. We literally ripped out bushes in front of our yard, like literally with my car.
I literally tied a rope around the Jeep and put the car in reverse.
Like we did stuff to this property. Like we probably would have done more if we were staying.
I installed the garage door opener.
Right. Like we insulated the garage.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
We did stuff to this house. That's why I'm like, at this point, it's becoming a little much. But that's why I said, like, you can't find the most perfect house. Like half of this, I wish was probably done when we bought it, but it is what it is.
To be fair to this house, I feel like if it was in another area, though, I would have stayed. I wouldn't be like, I would feel better about it.
I mean, fair.
Like if it was in the area we're moving to, I would be happy staying. Because the other thing is we moved up here, which is kind of far away from family and friends that like I'm around a lot or I would be around. And like right now, I don't mind it. I just jump on the highway and I go hang out with them and stuff. And I mean,
we're moving away from some family.
We are moving away from some family.
We're both moving away from family.
But at the same time, like we also are moving more closer to like life. Like we live in like the middle, like the woods almost kind of like there's like woods and then there's just a random city. And I feel like that.
No, not really woods, mountains.
Mountains. It's like mountains and then a random city.
We live in the mountains.
Yeah, it's mountains and then a random city. And it's just like, where does this even fit in? Like where did this come from?
I was thinking, I was like, woods? I was like, no. Where do we live in?
yeah, it's probably mountains. You're probably right.
Mountains.
Yeah. So at the same time, it's just like.
But not nice mountains. Like not like the Colorado mountains.
Yeah, like nothing like that. And it's so bad because there's nothing out here. Mm-hmm. And every time, like we literally today had to go get food, drove 45 minutes away just to get some decent food.
You have no food. You have nothing. We barely have service.
Yeah, right,
like,
right.
I literally go to work and have no service whatsoever.
It's crazy. Like I have to put my phone on Wi-Fi calling. Like I did that. I literally put my phone on Wi-Fi calling because my mom was like, where you at? Why are you sounding weird? I'm like, I'm in my bedroom. Like, what do you mean? And it just didn't sound good. So I just put on Wi-Fi.
You did that the other day. You literally called me at work, but like on the work like phone. And I don't know if it was just the phone being weird or him, but I was like, you're breaking up. Like I can't hear you. And he's like, I'm literally in our room.
Yeah, so I was like, what the heck? But that's a big deal for me, the livelihood. And then I'm a big city boy, man. We're moving like 45 minutes to an hour outside of New York City.
I tried to get him to move to Boston, and it's a no-go, but we're living so close to New York and he's all about it.
We could move to Boston. Yeah, listen, I want
now you say that.
Well, somebody, all right, you're going to commute all the way back here every day to go to work?
No, obviously not, but obviously that stuff would have changed.
It's not too late. We can go to Boston.
Stop.
For a minute, guys, I was looking at Orlando like very seriously. I think the only reason, and you can probably collab with me on this one, but no, that's not the word I'm looking for. You can agree with me on this one. The only reason we didn't end up really highly considering Orlando at this stage is we're at this point where we don't know what's going on. So we can't travel back and forth to Orlando to figure out.
So we would have to travel down there to check out the area, check out houses, check out all this and that. Like personally, I don't have the time for that right now.
Me neither.
So that would be very hard. And I'm definitely not being like, oh, this looks good online. Let's just get it and go down there. That makes no sense.
Because we had a bad experience with the Airbnb in Orlando that ended up being in a really bad spot.
Really bad spot. The inside was not really like the pictures online. It was disgusting. Like we literally didn't even stay the first night.
Yeah.
I paid money for that. And I was fighting so hard to get that money back. Because it was so bad. And so literally like he ended up paying for a hotel. We left maybe an hour into where we were.
And the hotel wasn't that great, but we were like, oh,
it was better than where we were.
Yeah, exactly.
It was so bad.
Exactly. It was actually the last time we went to Playlist. We stayed a week after.
It was actually right before like COVID started, like literally before like outbreak of COVID. So we went at a good time. I'm glad we didn't get like stuck in Florida.
Yeah.
But no, it was awful.
We
it
went
was
to an
so
Orlando
bad.
Magic game. Remember that?
Yeah,
was fun.
like all that was fun. And then we got to the Airbnb. We were like, wait, what?
Yeah. So that, with that being said, like we're like, dude, we really got to watch where we go in Orlando if we try to move.
I was gonna say, I feel like we also wouldn't necessarily at that point probably be in Orlando because I feel like we had talked about not going in Orlando, but maybe like outskirts.
Yeah, right outside Orlando.
That doesn't take long to get to Orlando.
Yeah. And
like a nearby town. I don't even know what's around Orlando, to be honest. But
I fell in love with Miami when I was down there. I was like, oh boy.
We'll live on outskirts of that too.
Oh boy, Miami is
We'll definitely have to research towns or cities in Florida to see like what's best.
Miami is pretty.
I feel like my thing is also I'd be so down for Florida, but like I said, you have to watch cities. Like I feel like those cities I wouldn't necessarily want to live in, but maybe like around. But I also don't want to live in vacation areas. I'm not trying to live in like where like people travel the most when they go to Florida. Like during the summer and it's like overpopulated almost. Like
I could see that getting annoying.
That's so crazy.
Yeah, I could see it. I feel like I would like that, but I could see it getting annoying.
Because like it's like all of a sudden it's like the middle of summer when you actually could want to do stuff. And it's even crazier because people from like where we live, where there's nothing going on in Connecticut, want to go down to Florida because it's so much nicer. And they all go in the middle of summer when no one's at school, no one's working, or they take a week off. Like
I thought about it too. If you look at it, like Orlando would be good. But it would also be like trying to learn a new area, like in such a short notice. And
like, if that's a city, like
trying to learn a whole new spot.
That'd be like New York, but I feel like crazier. Like not crazier, but like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, I don't want to say more lively because like if you go to center of New York, like it's freaking insane.
The other thing to keep in mind is Orlando just got way more expensive because a lot of Connecticut people went down to Orlando.
That's what I'm saying. Like everyone from up here was like, nope, let's move to Florida.
Well, because Florida, not to get into the politics of it, but Florida was very loose with their pandemic regulations.
They were.
So they
definitely were like one of the last to be like, you have to wear a mask.
Connecticut people mainly really flocked to Florida. And literally I saw a TikTok where like, they literally like people in Orlando were like, Connecticut people, stop coming here. Like for real, they were saying that like, stop coming here.
We got really strict. They definitely did not believe in masks for like the first year of COVID.
They were waiting.
Like you went down there and was like, no one knew what that was.
They were the last people to really like get on the mask.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They were like the last people to be like, you have to wear a mask if you go to indoor places.
Yeah. So like,
where we had already done that. So people down there, if they traveled, are probably already wearing them. Like we saw a lot of people with masks before the COVID outbreak even started. Mm-hmm. So never mind them not really being regular. They probably had so many people being like those Karens in places that was like, you should wear a mask. It's on the CDC guidelines and all this stuff. Like I could only imagine how that went. I imagine how many Karens live in Florida during the pandemic. There definitely were like
it's hard
some
to
people
say,
probably like stopped going out because they didn't want to deal with them. Not even because of the outbreak.
To say because I feel like at the same time I feel like there might not be because I feel like Karens wouldn't want to live in Florida.
It depends because if they're already there and it was like that, they definitely
like I feel like they would just
they definitely showed their Karen side. Like if they were already living in Florida and like COVID became a thing, like they probably were reading the news and seeing what was on the news where Florida was like, and they were like, oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah. Cause I mean, even up here, they were definitely like mask police. And like my whole idea on it was like, listen, I'm wearing mine. Like you stay over there. Yeah. Cause I can't make you do anything. And it was hard because at one point before it was regulated, like we were at the point where we were like, people are telling us like, you have to make them do it. And I'm like, I can't. Like, I remember being at work and I would say like, I can't. People
would come up and complain and I'm like, sorry, I can't say anything to them.
Yeah. And even when it did become a law, people would say they can't and have the reasons. And because of HIPAA laws, you can't even say anything.
And you can't ask about any medical stuff either. So if they're like, I can't, you just have to be like,
yeah, there's nothing you could do. So I'd just be like, I'm
move
sorry,
on.
There's nothing I could do. Like, are you kidding? And then like it was a mess.
At that point, it's when I'd be like, you can go and do
How
it.
did we
like
go down this rabbit hole? Oh, the Orlando.
we're talking about Orlando, and then we ended up in COVID.
Basically, long story short, we're not moving anywhere out of state yet. Also, he's still a baby, so like,
Definitely a much future goal, though.
I'm not trying to like move anywhere with him yet, just because moving with a baby out of state could be a bit much. Because like, if your support system's here, it makes sense to stay where your support system is while you're being first time parents and having a baby. Like, it just makes sense. With that being said, though, like, I could see it happening eventually. Like, as way down the road, you know, content's doing well, channels are doing well. Like, maybe
if we
end up
pick up, you'll definitely see us lift off.
Well, that's the thing. Like, if we pick up over here, well, I'm not gonna get into it yet. But you know what to expect for season 2. We will touch on that a little bit. I just want to make sure we cover all the moving stuff.
So,
is there any questions? What are you most excited about with the movie?
What am I most excited for? I'm most excited. I think I've talked about this. I don't know, like something about apartment vibe gets me really excited. And I'm super excited to make it, even though it's an apartment, to make it feel like warm, cozy, homey. Like I'm super excited to like organize and decorate the place.
Oh yeah. And I think that we are already kind of in a mindset of
I've already been thinking of like how things are going to go. We haven't even moved in yet.
I'm talking about like upgrading like things we have. Because that's the other thing, guys. Like with our house, like we didn't feel the need to upgrade any of our things that we had like furniture wise. We were just like, whatever. Like I have the ghettoest setup for my living room TV. Like I'm not going to lie. It is such a like, I know, because it was like a $15 TV stand that I bought off of Facebook Marketplace.
So much stuff.
Yo, it was so ghetto. Like, I don't even know. But like, I'm like, we're moving. I'm like, dude, I have to upgrade that.
We've gone through so much stuff in the process of packing that we're literally like,
kitchen table, we got to upgrade that. Like, just stuff like that. Like, I'm like.
And we definitely have to too, because the appliances going into this apartment are newer than what we have. So we're going to move like our old stuff in and they're going to be like, wait, what?
You don't belong here. Get out.
You could tell you don't belong here when.
Yeah, right. Get out of here.
But there's a lot of stuff, like I said, we've gone through being like, if we don't need it, we're not bringing it. Like literally get rid of it. There's nowhere for us to put it. If I don't need it, if we haven't used it. I found some stuff that we haven't even touched since we moved into this place. And it's been 2 years since we lived here. So, and I was like, can I just throw this out? So there's a lot of stuff we put like on the side of the road. We literally had this lady come by today and pick up like half the stuff we had there. And she was like, is this free? And I was like, literally take it. Take it. We don't want it. That's why it's sitting there. Yeah, literally take it. Have a blast.
At that point, dude. But yeah, I mean, I think for me, I'm just really excited to get back to an area of like life. You know what I mean? Like I feed off of energy.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to be back with
it's definitely gonna take a little adjusting just because where we live doesn't get like that. So I feel like it won't take long, but we're on the corner where it would get really popular with like restaurants and stuff on the weekends, which I work weekends anyways. So it's not going to affect me so much. I mean, sometimes at night, but like the days she was talking about that get the busiest, I'm like, oh, well, I'll probably be working anyways. Like,
no, I'm
and by the time I get back, it's not going to be like crazy for that long. So it's definitely going to be something to adjust to, but I feel like it's not going to be like, oh my God.
Hot take. I'm probably going to be one of the people that are driving you crazy.
Honestly, probably.
In the crowd. I'll be like, hey.
And I'll be like, well.
I'll be waving. I'll be like, Alyssa, I'm down here.
We live literally walking distance from like one of his favorite spots down there.
Oh, to eat,
so
bro.
If
bro.
He'll be leaving and I'll be like, I probably know where he's going.
Yeah, I'm like,
where to find Julian? Oh, the restaurant right up the street.
Yeah, literally.
Walk there and look through the window and he's probably right there. I
stopped there and I found out the food was cheaper than I thought.
Oh.
I was like, wait. They said $13. I said, what?
I literally told Julian, I was like, actually, in like the first weekend, I'm probably going to hate you because I'll be going broke because of food. I
literally was like, $13? That's more. It? You going to charge me more? And like, the food is so good, it's worth
maybe.
It was so worth it. I was like, hey, all right, $13.
They're like, I'll put this in the register, but this in my pocket. Well,
the price,
thank you.
The price of stuff is supposed to be going back down. So keep an eye on that. I think they're starting with chicken wings, and from there.
Oh, I heard that.
Yeah, so
I saw that.
So hopefully, this is just a trend of things just kind of going back to normal. But we'll see, man. I don't know, but yeah, I'm just really excited. I mean, the whole restaurant thing gets me excited. I think
I'm not excited. I'm gonna go so broke.
I think what's cool too, though, is something that we haven't really talked about that's a bit underrated. Having a better looking environment and videos gets me excited. Like,
oh yeah, so like I said, it has new appliances, but it's all like how do you explain it? Like a one-tone thing. Like literally everywhere is white walls, which for creating content is so
if you
nice.
Let the light
it's
in and
so
let it bounce
good.
off
We've
the
been
walls,
having problems here with lighting, and you have to stand here to get the best light, or be in this room. Like,
and it looks gross. Like, look at the tone of this video. Like,
it's not the greatest, but so having that is gonna make it so much better. Like we said, we're leaving this place with the amount of rooms that's easy for us, and like losing one. So we do have to figure out placements and all this stuff.
Because if you look by square footage of the apartment versus our house, it's not much less. Like it's maybe 100 or 200 square feet less.
I mean, that'd be a small bedroom, but is basically the bedroom that we needed. But even if it was a small room, that would be the room we'd record and do all this stuff in. So it would literally be perfect.
Yeah.
But it's just, we just have to figure it out, which I'm sure, like, obviously we will. We're going to make something happen. It's just when we get there and move there, we just got to literally stand there for a minute. You want to know a funny thing about this?
What?
I literally had said to Julian that we'd probably need like mini topics for this because it's not going to take a whole hour to talk about this stuff. And here we are an hour in still talking about this stuff.
It's so crazy. I mean, because there's just so much to say, and like there's so much going on that I'm just like, dude, I just had to get it out. And I feel a lot better actually after doing the podcast, because I've been frustrated. My poor real estate agent probably hates me, but I've been just so frustrated and so like just on edge with everything. So like it feels good to finally just be like,
Oh, but we're not psychotic, I swear.
No, not at all. We just bottle all this energy, this bad energy that's been going. Well, I don't want to call it bad energy. It's good energy, but it's just a lot of like effort.
It's definitely been a lot of stressful moments.
Yeah.
That we've probably bottled up a lot and then ended up taking it out almost on each other.
Yeah.
Like this process definitely hasn't been the easiest on us. So I'm kind of excited to just get in the place, and like once we settle and all this stuff, it'll be so nice. Like so nice.
So much easier. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. With that being said though, that's a whole nother like relationship episode for season 2. So with that being said,
you just reminded me. I knew I was gonna say something earlier, and then you asked me a question that we got off topic with, so I lost my track of thought. But that reminded me. Speaking of season 2, we're just gonna put out there. So we're moving into our place the beginning of September. So we're gonna take all of September to try to get settled into this place. So we definitely will keep you updated. Make sure to follow our Alyssa and Julian Twitter account, Alyssa and Julian Instagram, Alyssa and Julian Podcast Instagram. We'll definitely have updates on there. I'll try to be sure to do that for you guys on there to keep you updated. Go in our Discord, like everything you could follow us on. But season 2 is probably not going to come until sometime in October is what we're aiming for.
Yeah.
So that's what we're aiming for. Like I said, we'll try to keep you updated.
Why?
What do you mean?
Like why so long?
Well, no, we have to settle and get situated in there.
Not even just that though. Not even just that. I mean more so for like figuring out where even the podcast is going to be.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
You know what I mean?
That's why I just was explaining that we definitely are going to figure it out. It's just we have to get in the place, literally look at how it's set up, because we saw it maybe like a week or 2 ago. I honestly don't remember fully. We were so excited. We went through. But also, granted, when we did look at the place, it wasn't empty. The tenant that was in there was moving out, but his stuff was still in there. Like he was in the process like we are now of packing and moving. So it wasn't completely empty. So now when we go in there and it'll be empty, we'll get a much better vision of how it's laid out, how we can put stuff, where we would put stuff. So like I said, the rest of September is how that's going to go, like settling in, putting stuff where it's supposed to be, probably moving a couple things a couple times to get it like, okay, this is where it should be.
And figuring out.
So it's going to take a little bit to get back into this.
And figuring out like, because I don't know where there will be space to set this up. So you might not ever see this again. You know what I mean? And that's the reality of it too. Like
it might be a couch.
It might be
set up for a little bit. We don't really know.
It might be a bedroom set up like at the desk, at the recording desk.
Because the desk is going to be set up and put in a spot where it's going to stay, where this podcast is one we have like obviously accessible, movable. We set this up every time we record, take it down right after. So we have to find a spot that we could set this up in. And if there's not, that's probably where we're going to be like, okay, we might have to do a couch setup until we have this space, or we can do this. Like it's going to be interesting. So we have to figure it out.
With that being said, what to look forward to in season 2?
Let us know topics you want us to talk about.
Yes.
I know we made a list in the beginning, but I want like juicy topics.
And I want to go crazy. I want to hear what you guys want to hear from us. Like,
yes,
I want to know,
take on
like,
things.
Yeah, and try not to get too political. Like I'll answer, obviously. Try not to get too political. Like I'm not trying to upset folks. Because I mean, I don't want to say I'm very polarized, but I probably am pretty polarizing. Would you consider me polarizing? I could be. I have.
I feel like everyone has their moments.
Yeah, I have those topics.
Some people will be like, but some people go in on a topic. Like it depends.
Yeah. So I try. But anyway, I want to hear what you guys want to know.
Let us know what you want, like in general. Like even if you are like, hey, if you have this spot and can do it like
I'll tell you what we do. What we do currently is we try to like think of who's listening, think of the age groups, and think about what topics they might want to hear from us, and what you may struggle with, what you may need help.
I was just thinking that you literally read my mind.
Right, what you may need help with, like advice on how to handle things and situations. So we try to take that into consideration and make episodes that tailor towards that.
I was just going to say like stuff that can benefit you.
Yeah. And also part of since we're going into season 2, I'd say definitely look for guests starting season 2.
Oh,
because I knew that this obviously was happening and I didn't want to bring guests on yet, because I didn't want to bring guests on, but try to figure that out. I'm going to have more time now to really figure out and flesh it out how it works with our system, how to get call-ins, how to really make it happen. So be ready for that, because I'm excited for that to happen. I think that's going to be awesome.
That's on a whole other level.
I think that's going to make a big difference in the podcast.
And that's another reason why we have to figure out where we're going.
And right. And
like in the apartment.
I have legit journalism experience. So like I can interview people very well, and I'm excited.
At least one of us can.
I'm excited to like be able to interview people. Like
that'll definitely be exciting.
Super excited for that.
That's definitely exciting, because then depending on the person and the topic, that would make me so excited.
Then honestly, like let us know who you would want us to see us have on. I mean, obviously, like, don't send me like Lorraine, don't send me the Merrill twins. Like, we're not there yet, but people who you feel like
we can get in contact with.
Like, if you want to have
who's going to pick up the phone for us?
Yeah. If you want to have like one of our best friends or something on, to get a new perspective on us. Cause there are like people we care about, whether you know it or not, do have different perspectives on us than what we think. So, if you want to hear stuff like that, that'd be cool. Personally, I feel like that'd be sick, but Anyway.
So to wrap up this episode, we're moving. Reactions will come to you if you watch our reactions. They will be coming. Those are definitely coming once we set up the desk. Season 2 of Alyssa and Julian Podcast coming sometime in October. Be sure to follow all our socials. Everything is in the description below if you're watching this on YouTube. Everything is down below. Hop over to YouTube if you want to find any type of link. And Apartment Tour will be coming at some point.
On my channel.
Which is also in the description box below. So everything that you need is in this description. Like I said, if you're listening, hop over just to hit the link. Follow us on everything. And I think that's it.
Are you forgetting anything? No, I'm just asking. I don't know.
I don't think so. There was a lot going on in this episode, so probably, but right now I don't think so.
There is a lot. There's a lot of moving parts.
Any questions, definitely comment if you're watching. Leave a comment. Ask us anything. We'll definitely get back. We'll answer all the questions that you have.
Be ready for a season 2 launch, man, because we're going to make it special. I mean,
it's definitely going to be different. It's going to be new scene, new scenario.
I'll tell you guys this, man. Like, I have so many visions for this podcast and making it great that I have to slow myself down because it doesn't make sense for me to go out and spend thousands of dollars on this podcast because that's where my vision is for like
definitely
making it happen. It doesn't make sense for me to go and do that for a podcast that's really not like watched by a lot of people yet. And it just doesn't Julian, make financial take a breather. Sense. Right. But like in my head, I'm like, that would look so sick. And I know how to create the perfect scene for it. And I know what it takes to create it. So I want to do it. But at the same time, it just doesn't make financial sense yet. So until it does, guys, keep sharing, following, watching, all that. It helps. And it helps get us there to the point where I can make that stuff happen and do it the way I see it in my head and make it amazing for you guys.
We love it. We love it. So stick around on this. We're definitely coming back. It's not a complete end. I swear. I got Julian on here. I can't just end it like that. Definitely follow both of our socials. Socials for me, socials for him, socials for us, socials for the podcast. Stay up with him for apartment tour. Stay up with me. I'm really excited to decorate. I feel like that'll be my comeback for YouTube. If you subscribe, if you're subscribed to me, you haven't seen me. Yes. You haven't seen me in months. Yes. Literally months. I haven't posted. I'm not gonna lie. I haven't even thought about my channel. Oh, I just hit the mic. I haven't thought about my channel for videos, but this apartment and this move and everything, every little thing that Julian's probably not thinking about is getting me excited. So I'll definitely, hopefully can turn that into content. One, if I remember, because I wanted to do this packing stuff as a video. Like I didn't even want to announce it to you guys until I can drop a video, but then it didn't happen. So that's why this podcast is this episode. Like,
between the podcast and the stream, we started talking about it on our stream.
Yeah, if you were in the stream, you already know about this.
But we really came here with the announcement. And
there's like little things like decorating is making me so excited. I literally told Julian it's little stuff like having an extra bathroom. We have 1.5 baths where we live now, but where we're going, we're losing a room, but adding a bathroom. So we'll have 2 full baths. Yeah, and I don't know why that makes me so excited, but little stuff like that, I'm like, more decorating. I need whole nother shower curtain, whole nother mat for that. Like little decorations probably on the counter, like little stuff like that is making me so excited where he's just like, it's just the bathroom. I'm like, no.
I mean, on that aspect, yes. I'm really excited to have an adult bedroom. Like this will probably be the largest bedroom.
Oh my God. Yeah. We have a master bedroom. I've never had one ever before in my life.
Yeah. I think that's going to be
so excited.
That's really getting to me. Like,
see, that was what got to me too. When we looked at that first apartment or townhouse, it was a townhouse that we looked at that, like we said, we couldn't even have time to get an application in. That was a master bedroom. I don't know, like you're adulting when like a master bath gets you so excited.
Yeah, and that's cool. Like your personal bathroom, like that idea of having my personal bathroom is like
it's so great. And then like I said, like
so like it feels so me.
Yeah, and we have a whole nother full bath. So if we do, like I said, we don't have an extra room. So if we do have guests where you're sleeping, honestly, I couldn't tell you. We'll figure that out when it comes to it.
On the floor, so
literally, like I'll make sure I have a great rug. I'm just kidding. We'll figure that out when we get there. But you have your own bathroom.
Doggy bed,
You'll have your own bathroom pretty much because we have ours. So that extra bathroom is like literally yours.
That's fire, man.
I mean, you might share with JJ, but
of course, when JJ grows up, he has his own bathroom to wreck instead of mine. It's perfect.
I'll be like, you're cleaning your own bathroom, buddy. Good luck.
Go in there and clean your bathroom.
Oh God. I love it. I love it.
On that note, we're going to go ahead and get out of here.
Can I still ask a question of the week?
Yeah, no, definitely. I want to know.
Because I kind of thought of one that I'm just like curious too. Because now that like it's on the topic in your life, Some people might not have had the opportunity of this, which with what we're going through, I'm kind of jealous. How many times have you moved?
Wow. Yes. Oh my gosh. Answer that. Right.
I know because yours is crazy. Your list is crazy. I knew this would be crazy for him.
Let me count. So
I'm interested. I thought of it and I was like, I have to ask. That's going to be the question of the week. How many times in your life have you moved? Julian's going to be on like 2 hands. I need like elevator music right now.
I'm literally counting. I'm at like 7.
I'll say he's on 2 hands. I have to count. So
this makes 10. This will be my 10th move. This will be my 10th move. Yeah, this makes 10. I think I'm
at half of that. Hold on. Let me. So
yeah.
Yeah, this will be 5 for me. I'm like thinking in my head. I'm like, okay, here to here.
Yeah, that's what I had to do. I was like, wait.
Here to here, here to here. Like one of them is literally like, I'm counting it because I moved, but one was coming up to where we're living now, but then moving from my parents' house to this spot.
Yeah, you count it. I moved to the same spot
it's weird.
Twice.
So I'm like thinking,
I counted that.
I'm thinking, and I'm like, it's in the same city, but
you know what?
it's just a different house. But this will make the 5. So I literally have half the amount Julian does.
Think about this. This should tell you guys something. 3 out of the 10 times that I've moved have been to the area we're moving now.
Oh yeah, good point.
That's insane. That should tell me to stop leaving that area. Like at this point, like why do I keep leaving? I keep coming back. Why do I keep leaving? And it's so bad. I mean, 1 out of the times it was really just circumstances. I had to leave at that point. Mm-hmm. But after I moved back, I shouldn't have left. I don't know why I left because now I'm like, here I am going back a 3rd time. I'm not leaving this area anymore. Literally, at this point. I'm just gonna like live.
God's watching you, like, boy. Yeah, if you don't sit down,
like you dummy. How many times, like,
if you don't, I tried to tell you the first time.
Yeah, like
I put you here the first time.
You thought you were doing something going all the way off over there, and now look at you.
He's really looking at you like, how'd that work out for you?
Yeah, right. Like
next time you'll listen to me, you should take my little hints.
I feel crazy. And the worst part about this is like we tell people like, oh, we don't know if this is the last spot because like it may not be big enough with only the 2 rooms.
Yeah.
So like
with what we do, it's honestly, like I said, we're gonna get there and just stand there and be like, so
realistically, I could end up at 11 or 12. I could end up at 11 or 12.
But let's just think. I'll always have half the amount he does.
What the heck? Oh my goodness.
But yeah, I'm interested in how many times you've moved. Me too. At this point, like I said, with what we're going through, I'm going to be jealous of the people that have only said like once.
Dude.
I'm going to be like, sucks. Lucky.
Moving sucks. I mean, it's nice. It's bittersweet because it's nice to go to a new area. But honestly,
like I said, the decorating is going to be so exciting. But getting there is a hassle right now.
Lifting furniture is so annoying, dude.
I'm literally hiring like family members.
Yo, same.
I'm like, hey, yo, what are you doing this weekend?
Yo, she ain't even gonna be there. She's working.
I'm literally working. So that's also why I'm hiring family members.
I have to hire a family member babysitter.
We're hiring family members and friends being like, hey, yo.
Yeah, what you doing?
Some are actually working as well. So it's kind of like, they're going to be like, gotta go, bye.
Yeah, literally.
Sorry, gotta go. I helped a little bit, but I gotta take off.
We'll figure it out, man. But
they'll have the beginning half and I'll have the ending half. Because by the time they're going to work, I'll be getting out. So I'll be like, okay.
As long as they get the big
where
stuff
we at?
Out. But all right, guys, we're out of here. Thank you for watching. But
we hope you enjoyed.
Yes.
Honestly, we were talking about it in the stream that we understand we're taking a kind of a long time off. But just go back and binge watch the episodes we have. And by the time you're done, we'll be back. Exactly. It'll be like we never left.
Exactly. So with that being said, guys, keep grinding, keep chasing your dreams. And remember, nothing with Habakkuk's easy. We out. Peace.